Good. Is this game a preview of the AFC Championship game?
Well, interestingly enough, I mean, how long has Ben Roethlisberger going to be hurt? Can you tell me that first? You know, if it's 2-3 games, then I think it could be. I think the thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, offensively, they're as dynamic as any team in the National Football League. Maybe the most dynamic team in the league when it comes to just being able to put up offensive numbers with the weapons that they have with Ben Roethlisberger at the helm. Now, you've seen this 2 losses for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of those losses indicate to me that when they don't click on the offensive side of the ball, when they're not putting up numbers and they're not putting up big-time scoring opportunities, their defense can't run and can't hang with anybody. When I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively, I don't see one guy on that roster that makes me shake in my boots as an offensive coordinator, an offensive coach going, how are we going to block that guy? How are we going to contend with that guy? You know, there's no Troy Polamalu. There is no James Harrison when James Harrison was young and a pass-rushing phenom. Hayward is a good player. Shazier is the most dynamic athlete they have on their defense, but Shazier can never stay healthy enough to stay on the field. So there's not one guy that you go, oh, my goodness, how are we going to contend with that guy? If we need to go spread 5 wides and just 5 one-on-ones up front, that doesn't scare us as an offense when we play the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what's going to cost them a chance. Not so much this Roethlisberger injury. Their defense is what will cost them a chance to play in the AFC Championship game.
So, I mean,
their defense.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Max.
No, go.
Their defense is horrible as far as I'm concerned. I have no faith in their secondary. I get that. But I think that when you have a potent enough offense, particularly one that's experienced at moving the chains, I think that can change a lot of things. Going into this Sunday's game, do I believe they're going to win? Hell no. I have no faith in Landry Jones. But I will tell you this. I do have faith that the Steelers can still get to an AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots, not just because of the requisite weapons that they have around them, but because, as Max likes to say, when Mike Tomlin got the Steelers job, what are the Steelers all about? Run the ball, stop the run. Okay? Well, run the ball. Le'Veon Bell shouldn't have 10 carries. Le'Veon Bell should be given the ball. And I think that I know why, what's happening right now. I think the complaints about physicality that the team has had to endure during working out, whether it's training camp, in-season practices during the week, whatever the case may be, Ben Roethlisberger speaking, I think that the Steelers got the message. I think what's happening right now, I suspect, I do not know, but I suspect what is happening now is that Mike Tomlin and Todd Haley and those boys are sitting there and thinking about conservation. They're thinking about making sure they don't run guys into the ground, that they're not running them all over the place, so that they will be fresher as the season wanes. This is what I suspect is happening. And if they're somehow able to pull it off, where they remain competitive, where they remain in the running for the AFC North, I think what you're going to see is them gearing themselves towards this team, particularly its running back duo of the 33-year-old D'Angelo Williams, along with the Le'Veon Bell, making sure that their legs are fresh to run the football more as the season wanes, which is why I'm confident that they can still get to that AFC Championship game, because whereas it may not be good enough to beat the Patriots this weekend, it will be good enough to beat most of the teams in the AFC when it's time.
I never thought the Steelers were going to make the AFC Championship game this year. I still think it's the Broncos and the Patriots. But I know why people think it's the Steelers. Because you look at potentially what it could be, as you said, Mark, as long as they make the playoffs. And then they get Roethlisberger and Tomlinson, I said, reminds me of him. And
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. And obviously Antonio Brown. And show me a team with 3 better weapons all on the same team. It's ridiculous how good they could potentially be. But I think that's the problem with people analyzing the Steelers. We all kind of dream about what might be if they're firing on all cylinders. And you can speak to this much better than anyone here, obviously. So much has to go right to win a Super Bowl or to make it to a championship game, because so much is going to go wrong on every team.
Right.
But it seems to me like more has gone wrong for the Steelers in terms of health, suspensions, etc. in recent years, last couple of years, than it has for other teams. And I don't have confidence going forward the rest of this season that more is going to go right for them than is going to go right for the Broncos or Patriots.
I would say this about the Steelers right now. What is in their benefit is they play in the AFC North. Right now, Flacco hasn't practiced the last 2 days because of his shoulder issues. Cincinnati was one of the best red zone teams in football last year. They're one of the worst, not only offensively, but defensively this year. They have issues. Cleveland plays in that division. So regardless of who's starting at quarterback, you're going to win those 2 games when you face the Cleveland Browns. So I would look at it from this standpoint. This is a race to 10. Whichever team can get to 10 first wins this division. If you win this division, you're going to have yourself in the driver's seat to potentially, in my mind, compete for the AFC Championship crown. Now, it's not going to go through Pittsburgh, but at least Pittsburgh will, more likely than not, get a home game in that scenario.
A lot of people are off the Broncos now, not just because Simeon, well, maybe, look, he's not such a great quarterback yet, if he will be, but I think Elway has demonstrated in the last couple of years he could put a team together maybe without a great quarterback and still do some business. He could put a defensive team together, an offensive team together. And people, I think, are a little off the Broncos now also because they lost a couple of games in a row, but they played the 2 best offenses in the NFL. They really didn't give up that many points, and one of those games was on the road. I still feel like people are off the Broncos too fast. Everyone's on the Pats, but I feel like they're off the Broncos a little too fast.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Well,
with
they
that.
might be off.
Go ahead.
They might be off the Broncos a little bit too fast but that's because of suspect belief in Trevor Simeon or Paxton Lynch. Because we all know how important the quarterback position is. C.J. Anderson could play. Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders can play. The offensive line has been upgraded to some degree. We know what the defense can do despite the loss of Danny Trevathan and Malik Jackson. But in the end, what it comes down to is, do you believe in your quarterback? Not just his ability, but his decision-making. And because they leave you suspect in that regard, that doesn't help. And then, particularly in the loss with Atlanta, we saw their linebackers having difficulty covering, and we saw them having difficulty defending the run. We didn't anticipate that from Denver. We've been so busy praising their secondary with Talib and Harris Jr. and Roby and those boys, recognizing how elite they were, arguably the best in football, that we forgot about that front 7, how it's been compromised, and how teams believe not only can we beat Denver by running the football, but also by getting them and, using runners out of the backfield, using tight ends,
isolating their
forcing their linebackers
coverage,
to defend the pass. That's where really you're dealing with here, and that's your problem. And so when you can't do that, and you got problems on offense in terms of moving the chains, it's going to be problematic for you.
Yeah, complementary football becomes big for the Denver Broncos. Their offensive line has been abysmal the last 2 weeks. They have been horrible.
Yes.
They had a pretty good start in the first 2 weeks of the season. They have been really poor since that time. They haven't run the ball, so they haven't taken pressure off of their young quarterbacks. One thing's for sure, on a Thursday night, they played an injured Trevor Simeon. It goes to show you that they don't believe that Paxton Lynch is ready to lead a football team right now. Doesn't mean that he can't in the future, but it just means that right now he's not ready to play. I said they were thin going into the season at the quarterback position. That's going to be an issue for them going forward, but they have got to be better when it comes to complementary football. They have got to produce on offense to take at least some of that pressure off the defense, who has spent entirely too much time the last couple of weeks defending high-potent offenses.
No question. As far as Patriots Steelers, so disappointed we're not going to see these two at full strength, because I was so excited to see this game when Tom Brady returns. And I just want to say thank you to you for making time for us, because besides NFL Live and your radio show, now I've seen you on Ballers. And then yesterday, what's the commercial that I saw? It was another national commercial with you in a white tee.
Well, America is begging me to become an underpants model, so I just did it for Haynes.
Yeah, I saw it. This little old Haynes, you and MJ.
Yeah, that's right.
Good-looking sucker over here.
I can't wait till MJ and I here on First Take.
MJ and I are doing commercials together. It's only a matter of time.
It's a tough life. Somebody has to live it. The Schlereth. Thank you. Good to see you. Have a great weekend.
Mediocre team and Big D. That's what makes this funny. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Some way, somehow, when they count, just wait. They will let you down. The accident, they will mess it up. Just wait. The accident, they will let you down. Just wait. The accident, the accident, the accident, waiting to happen. It will happen. Tony Romo, though, the football, know what's coming next. He will get in the way. The deception of success. Tony Romo throw the football. Are you kidding me? That's pride, not a catch. Really? That's funny. Big D, teasing you. This is what they do. The weed show up on cue. Accident, something will go wrong. Accident of the big jumbotron. Accident, gotta recognize it's a black cat running around that franchise. Say it with accident, they will mess it up. Just wait. The accident, they will let you down. Just wait. The accident, the accident, the accident, waiting to happen. It won't happen. How about them Cowboys?
I love that.
I love that.
Killed it. DJ
I love that.
Steph.
Right?
I love that. I got to
do
admit
you?
it. That's kind of fly.
Oh, yeah.
I
Do
love
you?
it.
You love
I
that?
love
do you?
it.
I love it. I
Shout
love it.
out to DJ Steve Porter for doing that. Our producer, Stephanie Frenier. That was amazing.
That
I'm trying
was
to
great.
figure out why the hell
He
is
did for
Will
you.
Kane sitting on our set,
That was for Will.
reclined in his chair like he's sitting in a grandfather chair or something. I mean, what's up with that?
I'll tell you why I'm
What's the
sitting on
problem?
this
He
set. I
coordinated
mean,
his
everybody
outfit.
knows the answer. I'm sitting on the set because you got a music video played to your hatred of the Cowboys. And by the way, while it's dripping in style, I mean, it almost made it sound like you could rhyme. While it's dripping in style, it's equally devoid of substance. I mean, the line, the punchline, the money line, the accident waiting to happen.
Will Kane, all I can say to you is this.
Yes.
I've been saying it for years.
Well-
I know what you're hoping for this year, but I have 20 years of history saying that.
Man.
So you can say what you want.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you, that's
Go
like
ahead.
you saying for years, Will, I've been getting up on this program and telling you the sun's going to come up. And nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me, but the sun's going to come up in the east. And I've been saying it, and now I got a music video that proves it.
Well, the Cowboys won't
Why
come
you
up in the
hating?
East. The Giants
Why
will
you hating?
occasionally.
Why you sound jealous? You sound
Because-
jealous. You sure? You
Because,
all right?
you know, when I
You
got
all right?
our show meeting notes, I noticed this. I was just going through the show meeting notes, and I noticed this. Ben Roethlisberger, out. Torn meniscus. LaShawn McCoy, injured hamstring. Eddie Lacy, out for the season. Joe Flacco, hurt. Terrell Pryor, hurt. And I just thought to myself, with all these teams, these poor teams, the Packers, the Bills, the Steelers, accidents waiting to happen, man. Accidents waiting to happen.
What's
your rebuttal?
You can
What's
do
your
the,
rebuttal?
you can do the remix.
No. I got it. I got it. Ben Roethlisberger's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
And yet he's hurt.
Tony Romo
What an accident.
has 2 playoff victories in his career. What are you talking about?
Here's
Why
what
are
I'm
you
ta-
even mentioning them in the
Okay,
same
listen
breath?
to me. Listen to me.
It doesn't matter
When
who's
you-
hurt now.
when
I'm
you-
talking about historically
When you predict
throughout their career.
that an accident is waiting to happen, literally anything feeds into your argument. You can pull
Unless-
anything. and
Will,
say,
unless-
I'm right. And by the way,
Unless-
every year, hold on, Max. Every year, by the way, that prediction is true for 31 teams. 31 teams
Oh,
every
Lord.
year
That's
prove
your
you
argument.
right.